Okay, time for another tool spotlight. We need to install nails into this joist hanger in this situation, which I'll go over in another video and touch on the specifics of the situation. But frankly, we're uncomfortably laying in the floor bay, and I'm not left-handed, though I'm all right with the hammer. This side isn't even the most difficult. It's going to be the other side of the hanger that's over in here. We need to put nails in the hanger. We are not allowed to use screws with a joist hanger. So we have a palm nailer, which has a little foreskin thingamajigger on the front of it, and a little pin down in there that is magnetic, so the nail sticks down in there. You can load him up. And then once he's in there and he doesn't fall out, I have the ability, this is a strap on here that goes around your hand if you're running this thing for long periods of time, but I'm going to omit that. But we can just, and when we apply pressure, the little flywheel and impact hammer inside will drive this nail in. Let's see if we can get this to work left-handed. That's kind of the beauty of this situation. There you go. And we'll load him up again. We'll try and do a better job. I don't want to hear about it in the comment section that the angle wasn't perfect. Oh, this is a really complicated location to be, and I'm going to do the other one that's even more difficult without running a camera on it. So we're going to watch this here. And get back on the end of it and touch him up. This is a battery-powered palm nailer. I love that. All my stuff's battery-powered. Once again, this Spotlight series is going to probably, you see a lot of red here. I really just run the M12 M18 stuff. This is a Milwaukee battery power nailer. I think he was only like 75 or 80 bucks as a bare tool. But let's talk about other applications. That's the primary one. And in other weird framing floor situations where you're in close quarters and you have small angles and you can't swing a hammer. I've also used it up here to send in the nails in the bottom of those nail-on fixture boxes that I couldn't swing a hammer in from this angle. So I just got started on that and ran him in like that. And one of the best features of this tool specifically is the battery, because most other palm nailers are going to be pneumatic. They're maybe a bit smaller, so maybe you're looking at something that looks more like that. So in a head-to-head, in the tightest of tight situations, they do have a little bit more space efficiency, I suppose. But I will take this, and we'll talk about the framing nailers and my finish nailers that are all battery powered as well, over listening to a compressor roar in the background of the job site, or subjecting these poor folks that are here. This is largely retirement community, enjoying their Friday at the lake, and they don't want to listen to every 10 minutes with my compressor screaming, and I certainly don't want to listen to it either. So this is a bit more specialty. It's nice, I loan it out occasionally, which is more often when friends and stuff need to do something incidentally. It's not worth investing in if you're not going to do. Although I will say, if you're just building your own deck and you plan on putting it, the plans call for all joist hangers, I recommend you jump into at least a pneumatic one if you're going to be listening to your own compressor run. But I can highly recommend that. There's been a couple other situations where I needed to punch something or otherwise hammer on something that wasn't a fastener, and so long as you can get this end on it, you can whale on that the same way you would whale on it with a hammer. So it works as an impact driver, again, I suppose not a spinning one, but a hammering one. So if you're working mechanically and you have to punch something out on a mechanical system where you can't swing a hammer in a cabinet for a piece of equipment or in an engine bay somewhere, that has other uses. And I suppose if you weld and you really wanted to, you could get down here and pull this back, and you could weld, although it might ruin the magnetic qualities of this, but you could extend and just have a permanent punch ran out here to a certain extent, and you could customize this thing. So highly recommend the Milwaukee Palm Nailer. Obviously way quieter, way easier to deal with. It does make a racket when you get going on something, but omitting that compressor on the job site is huge for me. And we'll talk again, like I say, about other tools that work without the compressor. But that's one of its primary uses, and I highly recommend that pig if you're gonna get into anything more serious than 1 or 2 times. It's well worth it. So there you go.